Joining us now, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, California Congressman Devin Nunes. Good to see you both. Congressman Jordan, let's start with you. So, in the middle of what is really important issues for the safety, security of the world, rockets haven't been fired over Japan in 15 months, no more threats to America, Guam, the entire Korean Peninsula. Michael Cohen gets front and center coverage by the Democrats, not one, but 3 days in a row in the middle of these negotiations.
Yeah, Sean, look, you're exactly right. While the president's working to make the world safer, the Democrats' first announced witness of the 116th Congress is a guy who is going to prison in 2 months for lying to Congress. They're giving a forum to a guy who lied to banks, lied to the IRS, lied to all kinds of folks. But tomorrow he'll be given center stage to spread more lies about the commander-in-chief of our country. Again, while the commander-in-chief, while the president of the United States is working to make the world safer and meeting with Kim there in Vietnam.
You know, Congressman Nunes, first of all, why would anybody that has Michael Cohen's interest at heart, why would they allow him to do this at this point when he's now got it settled? Is he going to be putting himself potentially in greater jeopardy if he says something that contradicts what he said before? Will there be another investigation or some type of threat? Does he have an immunity deal in this case?
Well, Sean, congratulations on being in Vietnam on a very august occasion, hopefully historical. Tomorrow is going to be Michael Cohen live in front of Jim Jordan's committee. On Thursday, unfortunately, it's going to be behind closed doors in a classified setting. And one of the challenges we have here is we've already had Michael Cohen in. He's been prosecuted. He's been prosecuted for lying to the FBI, pled guilty. Lying to Congress. So why is he testifying behind closed doors to the House Intelligence Committee? This is not a man who has any classified information whatsoever. And what I'm concerned about is that they will twist things around. They'll take things that happen because they'll know what publicly happens tomorrow. And then in our committee, they're going to take what they want and selectively leak. And so we'll be dealing with that problem here on Thursday night, I can guarantee you.
Sean, will he be under oath?
Yeah, oh yeah, he'll be under oath. Sean, this is the best they got. This is all they got. And remember, this is step one in their process to go to impeachment and try to remove the president from office. Understand what happened last week. Last week in Chairman Jerry Nadler's district, Tom Steyer, mega donor for the Democrats, organized a town hall to encourage Mr. Nadler to pursue impeachment. Last night in Baltimore, Tom Steyer organized a town hall in Elijah Cummings' district to encourage impeachment. This is the best they got. A guy who is going to prison for lying to Congress. This is how they're going to launch their effort to ultimately get to impeaching the president. That is how desperate they are, but it starts tomorrow.
While the president is here in Vietnam,
exactly.
You know, trying to negotiate the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula is really outrageous. Congressman Nunes, one question. So many people keep asking me, we've been able to slowly unravel this onion, take a layer off a day as it relates to the deep state. We now know James Baker, the general counsel, top lawyer of the FBI under Comey, thought that Hillary should be indicted. We know obstruction would be a slam dunk case. We're waiting on FISA information, 302s, interviews, Gang of Eight information. When are we going to get all of that?
So here's what we're doing. We're going to be talking about the last phase of our investigation and laying out everything else that we have left to do. We're going to be working with Jim Jordan and Doug Collins. So the Republicans are going to have the task force that we set up in the last Congress is continuing. It's going to take declassification by the president. I think it's going to take full transparency. We have all of this talk about whether or not the Mueller report is going to be transparent and going to be released. I have no problem with that as long as it's not just the Mueller report. It's all the interviews, any informants that they had that they were running. We want to know all of that.
Both of you know that Bruce Orr in August warned everybody Hillary bought the dossier. It was not verified or corroborated, and that Christopher Steele hated President Trump. They signed off on it
Sean,
4 times.
Yeah. I just want you to remember, Comey and others have said that it wasn't the dossier, that the dossier only played a small part of that FISA application.
It's not what Andrew McCabe said. Without a dossier, no FISA.
Right. But remember what I've said. It's bad enough that they've used the dossier. The rest of the crap that they used is even worse, and that's what we want declassified.
Yeah. Bruce Orr also talked to Andrew. Bruce Orr also talked to Andrew Weissman before he got put on the special counsel's team about the bias Christopher Steele had against President Trump when they launched this whole darn thing.
Real quick question. Is the Mueller report, you've seen everything, both of you. Do you expect it's going to be anticlimactic and there's no collusion? Do you agree with that assessment, Devin Nunes?
Well, I think what you have to see is what the Mueller supporters are continuing to do out there. So they're telegraphing already right now that nothing's going to be in there. Now, look, we know nothing's going to be in there because there was no evidence of collusion and conspiracy. It was ridiculous from the beginning. The only thing they ever had was the information that the Clinton campaign had paid
Sean,
for.
all the way up until the date James Comey is fired, he told us there was still no evidence of any collusion whatsoever. We know there's not going to be any collusion in this final report.
Great, but there was collusion. Hillary bought and paid for Russian lies, and then it was used to stop, well, first influence an election in her favor, and then later to bludgeon a duly elected president and unseat him. Biggest abuse of power scandal ever. Thank you both.